Yo guys, Zero Cool back at it again with another video. We got the DORCH 2.5. Today we're installing it on the 340. So let's get it. And I'm just using a 10 mil, disconnecting the negative terminal, and we'll proceed from then. As after you disconnect the battery, just set it aside and we'll start working in the engine bay. So the first thing we need to do is take off these plastic trays. So after that, you're going to want to disconnect these trays. I've already taken off this side and I took off this side. Then we're going to start unbolting this whole water guard right here, and then we'll get access to the high pressure fuel pump. Alright guys, for the next step, after you take off these plastic housings, you need to take off this strut brace. This is going to be a 15 mil. The ones over here are going to be a 17 mil, two of those, and two of the 15 mils right here. And then these, you need to take off these. These are all 10 mil. So that's what I have right here. And then after you do that, here's the next step. So like mentioned guys, after you take off those pieces, you take off the brace, you take off the plastic piece, the 15 mils and the 10 mils, and take off this weather guard. You move back the windshield wiper line, and now you have access to this. So now take this off for now, just set it aside over here, and now you have access to your high pressure fuel pump. So we're gonna switch out the high pressure fuel pump, we're gonna switch out the lines, and also I'm running the Mhd Eca. So we're gonna configure the line to fit the DORCH stage 2.5. Alright guys, so now that we have the weather guard, the windshield wiper fluid, disassemble and everything, now we have access to the high pressure fuel pump and also my Mhd Eca kit. So with the DORCH stage 2, this is the line that's going to connect to the low pressure fuel pump, and it's going to go out to here, and then the Mhd Eca is going to connect to there, and then it's going to go around the back and connect to the new high pressure fuel pump. So right now I'm going to disconnect the TU pump. Alright guys, to start disassembling the TU pump or your regular high pressure fuel pump, you're going to need a T30. Make sure it's tight fitted because I don't have torque screws, so I taped it up. And you unscrew it out evenly. So do a couple turns right here, do a couple turns over here, a couple turns, yeah. And then after that, we're gonna unscrew these, the fuel line, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So to get these off, I think it's gonna be a 17 mil, but I just have one of these ratchets, and it allows me to custom like fit these little 17 mils, so you can crank it out and loosen everything up. And now we're gonna hoist out the high pressure fuel pump. All right guys, now we have the TU pump out. Make sure you replace your rag. Mine fell down all the way, so I just clean up the gasket. Nothing too crazy, I just clean the top, and obviously there's some fuel and oil right there, but I'm just not gonna touch it. And now we're going to start assembling the DORCH 2.5 inside right here on top of the gasket. So you're going to want to get your kit, and here's your little measuring tool, and here's your adapter for the top piece. So let's start assembling it. Alright guys, so the next thing I want to do is get your mount, get your little guide right here, and get the small torque screws. It's still a T30, and I just evenly did this side, and then I went this side, and then I went this side, this side, this side, just because I don't know if you knew to do that, but I did it. And then once they're tight, I just did like 1/8 of a turn, or maybe like 1/4 turn more. Do not over tighten these. I just did a little snug. Like once you feel it tight, just do a little more turn and you should be good. Now you can hoist this out and we'll start putting in the DORCH stage 2 in there. Alright guys, for the high pressure fuel pump, the DORCH, so then you get the other Allen keys, screws, and I use this to tighten these down. You gotta push the high pressure fuel pump down so it gets on the slot right here. There's gonna be a little gap and you push it in and you tighten it at the same time. So that was a little tricky. But now that we got the high pressure fuel pump on, we can start taking off these lines and this line, and we'll start connecting it to the low pressure line, and then we'll start connecting it to these engine lines with the DORCH stage 2 lines. Let's get it. Alright guys, the next step, we're going to install the DORCH fuel line into the engine. So the sequence of this states to install this line first, and then it'll go into this line. So I just start this line, go to this line, and then eventually work my way to this line. Now I'm just going to tighten everything down. There's a little slot for it to go in right there as well, and then just tighten it down. Once it's tight, do like 1/8 of a turn and you should be good. Alright guys, so after you get your high pressure fuel pump installed, we're going to put on the rail. This is going to be 30 Newton meters. You start with this one, then you go to this one, and last is this one. Also, it's going to be showing a few threads, so don't worry too much. And now let's start installing the line for the low pressure fuel pump. We got the high pressure fuel pump in, the DORCH 2.5 with the line in. Next, I installed this line, and I seated the T6 bolt that came off the line right here. I think it's that one. I put it over here. I just tightened it down slightly, and then I take off the Mhd 180 bend. So be careful with this, because I tore my fucking finger up. But anyways, you pull this back and you have to give a lot of force to get off of this little hinge right here, and then a lot of fuel drained out, so be wary of that. And now we're just going to route it into this line, and then DORCH gave me this line, so now I'm going to put this line on right here, and then seat it up with the sensor, and the sensor is going to go down here. Alright guys, this part's a little bitch, but basically I got one of these that can match the size of the fitting from the line, and then I got a what is this, a 3/4 wrench. So you hold this one and then you turn with this one to tighten it, and it hopefully this is the right fitment, but yep, that's how I did it. And now we're going to detach these and then connect them to the lines. Guys, now that we got the ethanol sensor detached from these 180 bends, these were a bitch to get off, probably because after being heated up and cooled down so much, they freaking just, they were on there. So I just kept spraying WD-40, just kept wiggling and trying to force them off. It was a little bitch. But anyways, now we can go ahead and attach our sensor onto the two lines right here, and then it's going to seat in the back, and then our Mhd sensor, which is right here, we'll just connect that, and then we're almost done. Alright guys, so all you need to do is bolt up your ECA Mhd connector to these lines with these fittings, and of course start your Mhd tune or BM3 mode tune with the ECA kit, and you should be good to go. And then just make sure nothing's leaking before you tighten everything down, and you're good to go. Enjoy.